Okay, so hello and welcome to this event, which is going to cover how to pitch like a pro, right? So if you are currently a founder and you're looking to pitch like better than you have ever done before, and if you're looking to do that in order to land new clients, in order to find the kind of buyer and win and convert them. This webinar is going to cover exactly how you can do that. And what we're going to be doing live is reviewing how you can actually test your pitch, your current pitch today. So you don't need anything else. You just need your current pitch, right? And we're going to get started and dive in with this, right? So first of all, this is the offer clarity pressure test. This is what we're going to be doing in this session, right? So I'm excited to share this with you. So let's get started, right? So first of all, in terms of your offer, right, and your pitch. So what is important to note, right, is that in this session we will be scoring. So you'll be scoring each session with, is it true? Is it sometimes true? Is it consistently true? And what's important is, and there is a worksheet that goes with this session today. So if you want to know how to improve your pitch and you want that worksheet, check the comments below this video and I'll give you that free worksheet that you can download so you can do this while we go through this session today. This is going to be a powerful session. It's going to be about 30 minutes live, 30 to 45 minutes live. So again, we're looking to assess your current pitch and the current status, right? So what is important to note about this is about how your offer lands, right? So if you want your offer to land well, right? What is important when you're pitching? Well, number one, when you are pitching, you often get nervous, right? And if you get nervous, what can happen, right, is that essentially your pitch can become what I would call slightly compressed, right? And so when this is happening, what this means is that there's a compression of how clearly your offer is landing to your buyer. And why this is so important is because if your offer and offering, right, your business, what you do and the value you bring, you want it to really land with your buyer, because there are typically many, many misconceptions around how your product is seen and around the value that you bring, where this fits in, right, and lots of other things. So again, you know that your current offer is really compressed if you can explain it in one sentence, right? If you don't need to justify anything or expand on anything, if people understand what you do and you don't need a follow-up question, right? They just simply get it. And if the outcome is really obvious to your buyer, then your offer is compressed and it's clear. So what we're talking about here is what is called decision stability. So let's consider that your buyer is taking a decision. They want decisions that are stable, solid, going to be sound, right? So they're looking for decision stability, because anytime that a decision is being taken, there is some instability, there's some unknowns. And that means that the pressure creates, right? The pressure can create a sense of uncertainty in the founder, in the person pitching, right? And that can affect the stability and the trust in that decision of your buyer. So you know that your pitch is stable and sound if your buyer doesn't ask you for more information when you tell them about it. If your pricing doesn't create confusion, you don't get asked to explain it again. You know that you have a stable pitch if you're not explaining and then re-explaining. And this can be mid-call, mid-meeting, and where conversations move forward cleanly, right? This is all really important. So if we consider a real world use case on, is clarity being used or just refined, right? So is the clarity that you bring, is it, let's look at a real example of this, okay? Because I'm going to try to illustrate how this works and how this looks. So your clarity is working if, when you say your core message around what you do, you say the same message every single time, right? So there's a real consistency in how you position what you do. If your pitch sounds natural when you say it out loud, then clarity is being applied, right? If you do not rewrite or feel tempted to change and switch in and out aspects of your pitch before or even in a call, then your clarity and your consistency of message is being applied. And if you trust your words under pressure, right? These are all really important. So if you have confidence under pressure in how your message holds when you are challenged, right? If you really have confidence, then your message is holding, right? And that's important. If your confidence is grounded and you do not over explain when questioned, right? If you do not change your pitch mid conversation, if you don't change your offering and what you might say, that means your confidence is grounded. And if you stay calm, right, when buyers are hesitating, when buyers question, query, sound unclear, right? If you trust the structure of your pitch, then your confidence is truly grounded. So where does your clarity in your pitch today break most often? So I want you to choose one key area on the screen. Is it explaining your pitch? Is it the key decision moment of asking and inviting your buyer to work with you? Is it the repetition and the consistency of your pitch each time? Or is it where you are handling some resistance from your buyer? So these are the 4 key major areas, right, that are crucial and important. And so let's consider where currently your pitch and your pitch clarity is breaking. Is it the explaining, the decision moments, the repetition and consistency, or the handling of resistance? And then what I want you to do is, we're trying to create a score today, okay? So if overall you're getting between 0 and 8, then your offer is not totally locked in and you might be guessing. If you're scoring between 9 and 14, then your offer is close, but it is unstable under pressure. So why we're doing this scoring is to give you who are doing this or tuning in to this live or even watching on catch up, right? This is about giving you a score so that your offer is clearer. And if you're scoring between 15 to 20, then your offer is clear, but it's not consistently activated. Okay. So what does this score actually tell you, right? So if you're getting a low score, that can be important. If you're getting a mid score, that suggests your pitch is inconsistent and it needs a bit of development. If you're getting a high score, then you have clarity, and maybe it's about the activation, how you activate, excite your buyer, and how you deliver your pitch. Again, the scoring that we're doing today isn't about creating more effort and more kind of challenges for you. It is about creating decision clarity, right? So if you have a clarity under pressure, this helps you to help your buyer. So it's you helping them to take that decision and create decision clarity. And why we want to do this as sellers is because if there is a moment today in your pitch where the clarity just breaks, that will be the crucial part that you could change so that the next step becomes obvious. That is what you want. You want the next step to be absolutely incredibly clear and obvious to your buyer, because you do not need, most likely if you have a pitch and a sales pitch, you don't need to fix everything on that pitch. You need to fix what I call the first decision gap, right? So if you have a decision gap of any kind, then what that's going to do is it's going to cause your buyer to essentially, again, they will feel like they do not have all the information to take the decision. And where there's a gap, there's hesitation, right? Where there's a gap, there's resistance. So let's consider how you can do your pitch decision review, right? So I want you to have a kind of a verdict, a mini audit on what to fix first for you. So what this review and why we're doing this in this session today is that a review is going to give you a score. It's going to give you hopefully the exact line in your pitch, which is causing hesitation. And it's going to give you one priority correction to focus on as well, right? Because regular budget reviews will typically use some kind of contingency fund, right? So you want one review, one verdict, one clear next step. That is what you really want to do, right? So I want you to do this exercise just once, and it's going to be valuable, and it's not going to take a lot of time as well. So now I'm going to do some training with you, right? So before we score your pitch and before you perhaps download your pitch worksheet from, whether you're on Instagram, you can download it from my profile. And if you are on, and I will pop the link in the chat as well. And you can, essentially what is needed is for you in today's session to just consider what stage your pitch is at, where you want it to be. And now I'm going to train you on the very first 5 seconds of your pitch. So this is about winning you more attention and closing more sales. So in today's distracted world, right, you have just seconds to capture your buyer's interest, right? And if you can master these critical moments, you will transform your sales results forever. So here's why this is important, because the first 5 seconds can make or break your pitch, because research shows typically people form first impressions in under 5 seconds. So before you utter a single word, right, it's about your posture, your facial expression, your energy, and your appearance to transmit, right? How can you transmit powerful subconscious signals that either open doors or slam them shut? So in 4 seconds, prospects will judge your expertise, your enthusiasm, and your sharpness, right? So if you fail here, then the sale will ultimately be 99% lost, right? So this isn't about hyperbole, but it's about neuroscience in action, right? So in 4 seconds, prospects will be assessing, are you an expert? Can they trust you? Can they work with you, right? And what is it you can bring as your unique blend to them? And that's why the first part of your pitch is so important, right? And it goes beyond just your smile, which carries weight, and your handshake as well, right? And your strong posture. You want to stand tall if you're standing, or sit tall and have good posture, right? But ultimately, these things are not going to get you to that yes. The science of yes in sales is what I'm going to highlight to you now. Right, so if you want to trigger more instant agreement, here's what you need to do. You need to understand that there is a psychology, right? There's an actual psychological link behind the agreement of your buyer, and this is going to transform your approach. And here's what the research reveals for influencing decisions in those crucial opening moments, right? So if you want to master this, then think about what is going on behind reaching an agreement with me now, okay? Because I'm going to teach you these 4 key things. Non-verbal communication does dominate, with a staggering 90% of communication being non-verbal. And then your tone of voice and your body language will influence the subconscious, yes, right? And this is a lot more powerful than words alone ever could really be, right? And then in terms of status management as well, status management really activates positive state. So anytime that you act more confident and expert, you trigger a direct emotional state in your buyer. And that's because there's like a mirror effect, right? That's why this is so clever. And so if you want to create curiosity and relevance to your buyer, if you want more people to say yes, so that they immediately see that there is a clear personal benefit to them, then this is going to help you a lot, right? You want to lead with more what are called curiosity sparking statements. And that means that you are going to connect directly with your buyer's world. So you want to be constantly asking those key questions, thought-provoking statements or questions that demonstrate you understand your buyer's world. And then you also want to engage and think about what are the serious needs here, right? So in Sandler's 70-30 rule, you want to ensure that prospects speak 70% of the time. And you want to ask them engaging questions quite early so that you can uncover, what are their true pain points and priorities, right? So you want to lead with good engaging questions. And those can also be what are called, right, questions which are rhetorical. So you're not looking for necessarily an immediate answer, right? But you're looking to spark the curiosity, spark that conversation, get your prospect speaking more than you initially, right? So again, with your pitch, you want to first be listening to your prospect, and then you're going to give them that powerful pitch. Now, this is my impact framework. So if you're thinking, okay, I get what I need to do in theory, but I want to restructure my pitch and I want it to land, right? I want it to have more impact. Then this is my framework, which I've taught to founders to win funding, to successfully help their message to hit in a different way. So if you want to capture more attention and you want more yeses, then you are going to need this, right? So let me give you a sense of the introduction and the relevance. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to think about just this first part of the impact theory as well that I teach, right? So we're talking here about the introduction, the relevance, the mission, and the market. I want to open with a sharp, relatable statement that is going to instantly connect to your prospect's world, right? So we want to be making it personal and specific, such as we help busy parents save 5+ hours weekly, right, with what you do, right? So this is a sharp, relatable statement to one ideal client, right? So what we're looking to do is to simply articulate the exact problem that our buyer faces, and then we want to use the language, right? So we're trying to, so if we were thinking outside the box here, right? And I'm just going to stop sharing and make sure that you are following me on this, right? So if you want to really engage your buyer, again, you need to think about what is going to be relevant and resonating with them. So it doesn't matter, again, if you have a completely different niche, if you have a completely different audience, right? You want to engage them. And you want to do that by showing that you understand what they want and what they are interested in. Okay, so this is why this is so crucial, right? Because when you use this well, then it really lands much better with your buyer, right? So that is what we want to be doing. And if we are doing this well, right, then that is what is achieved. And the idea is that you don't have to choose this in the moment, right? So I'm suggesting that what you do is you pre-select this, you pre-select it, you pre-have it all ready to go. And the reason for that is, again, so that you do not do this just on the hoof, on the fly, right? We want that you do this when it matters, right? And as I was saying, when it matters is the consistency of message, right? So again, we don't want that you have an inconsistency in your sales message. Because if there is inconsistency, if you're just throwing things in, trying things out always, then that is not going to work well. It's not going to work well because that is suggesting that you or your offering is not fully kind of realized and established, right? So that is why this is important. Okay, so we want to clearly establish what it is that you do for who, and what you can help them with, right? So we're going to go back to the slides now, but I just wanted to quickly just touch on that and make sure that it's clear what you're looking to do and why. Okay. So so we're going to go back in a moment to sharing, but I hope this is landing, right? I hope this is landing. I hope you're getting why this is so powerful and effective. And it's powerful and effective because ultimately this is your business. This is the heart of your business. This is how you engage your buyer, right? So again, we don't want to be leading with messaging, which is just kind of hit and miss, touch and go, right? We want to ideally, and this is something that people are missing, and this is why I'm having this session, right? Because I want that you understand and kind of implement this session. So again, this is not just like a session with me giving you information to think about. This is an actual session that I want you to really apply and to really take to heart, right? Because if you do, then you are going to have a much, much bigger chance of winning ultimately winning your client. And that's what I want for you, right? I want to help you to win more clients. And that is what I help people to do. And you might say, well, why do I do that? And again, I do that because I want to ultimately help more people to really live the life that they truly deserve. And so if you're seeing my screen and it's going a little bit sketchy, just bear with me a moment and I am about to reshare. Okay, so 2 seconds and I'm just going to reshare. And again, we've just got, a little bit of time left, about 10 minutes or so of this session, which is, again, the aim of this session is to help you to change and improve and refine your pitch so that you can, right, so that you can win more buyers when you want to. And that can be at any time, right? That can be at an event. If you are someone who right now is struggling to win new clients, then this is crucial, right? So don't miss this session. Make sure you stay for the last 5 to 10 minutes, because again, I'm going to drop and share some really important things to help you to really leverage this and really kind of implement and apply this. So let's with that, let's kind of keep moving, let's keep going. And yeah, I'm going to share some more kind of powerful stuff with you. So first of all, right, I just want to make sure that we've got our slides back. So just 2 seconds here. So yeah, so how's everyone doing so far? I hope you are enjoying this. I hope you're following this, and I hope you're getting this as well, right? Why this is relevant, why I'm teaching this, and what I'm working with you today to help you to do. Because I want you to have something really actionable and really good that you can simply take and implement, right? This is what we're building on, and this is going to make a big difference in terms of your business. So I'm going to keep going, and yeah, we're going to just touch on, fortunately these slides are a little bit, but we are going to push on for the time being. So here's where we got to, right? So let's get back there. So basically we had got to the science of yes, and we had got to the impact framework, my framework. And we've got to the first 5 seconds and the importance of that, right? And I was saying that if you open with a sharp, relatable statement that instantly connects to your prospect's world, that will make it personal and specific, right? So you want to do that. You want to have your relatable statement. And then you want to move on, right? And you want to have your problem, your product, and your proof. So you want to clearly articulate the exact specific problem that your prospect is facing. And you want to use that language, and you then want to present whatever solution you have as the key core solution, right? So you want to, whatever your company name is, whatever your specialism is, that's what you're building towards, right? You are building towards creating that as your kind of keystone of your pitch, right? So the last thing I just want to say is, if you have unique assets, right, you want to highlight what makes you unique or special, right? And make it clear to your buyer how precisely, what superior results can you achieve, and differentiate more boldly to make it really clear why choosing you is a more intelligent decision. So you want to, now we're going to come on to delivering your pitch and how you can deliver your pitch. And again, we're just going to come on to something very important, right? Around how you can nail the first few seconds. So I talked about smiling, I talked about engaging. You want to perfect your vocal delivery as well, so that your voice is really clear, really carrying. And then you ideally want some visual reinforcement, a few slides. You don't want to be overpowered with the slides, but you want to practice your opening until it flows effortlessly and powerfully without sounding at all robotic, right? And then you want your 5 second challenge. So you want to start winning every pitch. In order to do that, you're going to have to do these 3 things. So you're going to have to stay strong under pressure. Literally, you're going to have to hold up, and you're going to have to be thriving in that pressure, right? That's what I want to help you to do to feel more excitement. You want to stay relevant. You want to close smarter, right? The first 5 seconds that you do will set the stage for every single yes that follows. And that's what you really want. You want to make those seconds count, right? So here are some of the things you want to do. You want to prepare your, what I call your impact opening and introduction. You want to hook your prospect instantly with relevance, problem solving, and clarity. And you want those compelling proof points, right? And then you want to master the body language and the tone. And you want to do that so that you project more confidence ultimately through the posture that you use, the vocal delivery, all of those great things. And you want to engage with more strategic questions. So that would be, what are the questions, revealing the true needs, and getting your prospects to talk about their challenges and goals. But the foundation of this is the first 5 seconds, right? These set the stage for every yes that follows, and make those seconds count, right? So here's my test for you, and here's what we're going to do. We are going to look at is your pitch, is it really client ready, or does it need something extra, right? So I want you to think about this with me. And I want you to, we're coming back to the scores, right? Score yourself. Is the statement untrue? in which case put 0. In your view, is it sometimes true or is it consistently true? Right? So here's number 1. First impressions. Are they leaving your buyer with certainty, right? Does what the buyer knows in the first 10 seconds after hearing that first sentence, can they accurately repeat what you sell to someone else? Number 2, can you tell immediately if can your buyer tell if this is for them or not, right? Number 3, if your pitch stopped after just one sentence, would the buyer know why it matters, right? So here's what we're testing. We're testing, is this clear to your buyer from your, ideally, right? We want to be thinking in the mind of our buyer. So can your buyer typically repeat what you say? Can they tell if your offering is really for them? And if your pitch stopped after one sentence, just one, would the buyer still know why it matters? Number 2, decision load. So this is how hard you make it to decide. So number 4, my pitch makes the decision feel simple rather than requiring explanation. So that's number 4, sorry. Number 5 is, so I want you to do again 0, 1, or 2. 0, 1, or 2. Just write 0, 1, or 2. Number 4, put 0, 1, or 2 based on this statement. My pitch makes the decision feel simple rather than requiring explanation. And the next one is, a buyer does not need to ask follow-up questions to understand the core value. They understand what you have to offer, right? Rapidly. That's what I'm asking. Number 5, right? So 0, 1, or 2. And then after hearing, number 6, hearing my pitch reduces confusion rather than creating curiosity without direction. Do you agree with that? Is this true? Is hearing your pitch reducing confusion or is it creating curiosity? Right? That's what we're interested in. And we just have a few more questions here, right? So keep going. If you're taking this now, if you're watching this on catch up, just keep going. So number 7. So 0, 1, and 2 are the scores. Just take a piece of paper, write down the number 7, 8. Just keep up with the points in the questions, right? So number 7, a buyer can clearly identify the outcome they get and not just the process, right? So do you mention an outcome in your pitch? And this is something called value anchoring, and it's super important. So in this, we are testing, we're understanding, right? What is this really testing? Is the outcome gravity. So not the enthusiasm, but the outcome. So number 8, my pitch naturally anchors to a result rather than my skills or background. Does your pitch naturally anchor to a result? Number 9, a buyer can sense why this matters now and not someday. So again, what is it that a buyer can sense as to why this matters now and not someday? Okay, so we have a few more questions to go. And then you're going to have this really powerful score that you can add up, right? So we're now in section 4, and this is what I like to call risk containment. So does a buyer feel safe saying yes to you? So number 10, when a buyer hesitates, my pitch still feels stable rather than defensive, right? Is that something? Is that something your buyer feels or not? Okay, double check that. So 0, 1, or 2 for number 10. And then when you've done that, move on to number 11. I sound like I am recommending a solution, not explaining myself. Do you sound like you're recommending a solution or explaining or justifying something, right? So 0, 1, 2 for that. And we're moving quite fast here. So number 12, if a buyer heard my pitch twice, it would feel clearer, not more confusing. Is that correct? Is it the more times your buyer, that's 0, 1, or 2, the more times your buyer hears your pitch, is it clearer? Is it still clear, or does it confuse? So the scoring zones that we will be applying here are 0 to 8 overall, 9 to 16, or 17 to 24, right? So that is what we want to aim for. And so I want to give you a moment to just tally up your scores. So just looking at that, just add up and go through each of these questions. And if you need to, you can put this on pause as well and just complete adding up those questions. And then the next one, this is your client ready pitch step. So I want to help you, depending on what your score is. You'll have a different need because your score isn't just about your offer, it's not about the quality of that offer, but it is about how good is your pitch and how is it working for you, right? How is it working for you? How well is it working for you? And how could your buyer really take a decision based on it? So that's what we want to do. And most people don't realize that they're actually creating some kind of friction. People are not being rejected, but they are essentially creating a friction, a moment in the decision that is leading to resistance or difficulty for your buyer that they can't move through. So they're getting stuck. It's not about rejection, but it's about making the decision that you offer easier, a compelling yes, a no-brainer, right? So the natural reaction might be, I know the problem now, I'll go and fix it myself. Now, we don't want that, right? We don't want someone to go and fix it themselves. We want, right? We want people to want the support and the solution. And there is something called the do-it-yourself trap, right? Where awareness doesn't change the buyer behavior. And if they don't take corrective action or any action, right? So just awareness in its own self and for its own sake does nothing, right? So that is important. So there's awareness and then there's correction. So I know what is happening. I know what to do differently. That's the correction. I know what is happening. Just awareness, correction. I know what to do differently and I will do it. So here's what you've watched with me, and here's where we've got to now, right? I have taken you from the point of interest and awareness, building the awareness in a way that leads to a decision, a moment of decision. And we've talked about the correction that you can do and the changes you can make to your pitch to see more movement directly for your pitch. And this isn't for everyone, right? So you may not need this if your score is already high, right? If your score is already at the highest bracket, the highest point, then, that might mean, right, you're in a different position. But if you're not selling and your scores are within bucket 1 or 2, this is definitely for you. So if your score just showed decision friction, and if you want more clients from the conversations that you're already having, then this will be the next logical step, right? So this may very well be your next step. So let's think about that, okay? If you want more conversations to go the way, then go the way of your prospect making that decision live with you in real time, which most people want, then that is the outcome that we need to help you to get to, right? So if you are ready to make changes, then I invite you to apply for my Pitch Lab Sprint, where we will do live correction and refinement of your existing pitch to help your buyers to take clearer and better decisions, to help you to have more clients. Here's the thing, right? If you the future can only change when the pitch changes. If you just hold the line, hold the silence, hold what you're doing, then nothing changes in the future. So just remember, and I want to thank you for joining and watching this webinar or this live to understand how can you improve your pitch. And today we've created more awareness for you. But like I said, awareness without action is essentially not right. It's not going to change things for you. It's not going to change your future. So I do definitely invite you to send me a DM with you can send me that DM with the word sprint, or you can put sprint in the comments below this YouTube, right? If you want to apply for my Pitch Lab Sprint sessions, and again, this is a structured session, an intensive lab of several sessions, key one-to-one coaching in your pitch. So that's what I can offer for your next step, right? If this has resonated and you're ready to change things and you want to build on what you've already created with your pitch, again, we're going to keep some of the existing elements, but we're going to enhance and improve and augment it. So that's going to be really exciting. It's going to help you to feel better about sharing it and more confident as well. We're going to work on your delivery. So make sure that you reach out, make sure that you comment with Sprint, SPRINT, below this video in the chat or the comments, right? Or you can simply send me a direct message with the word sprint. And I cannot wait for you to experience a different pitch outcome and a pitch which really helps you to move forward, right, with momentum. So with that, I'd like to thank you for joining. My name is Camilla Hazler. I'm a sales expert with over 15 years of sales experience. And it's been my pleasure today to share with you about how to refine and enhance your pitch. And I am super excited for you to do that. So make sure that you go out there, you take action, and you start to apply, right, some of the changes that your score suggested, and reach out to me so I can help you to take that next step to get a pitch that you can be really proud of. So with that, I will see you on another live, and thank you for watching this session today. Keep pitching, keep selling, and let's do this.